Hello everyone and welcome to Scorpion Gaming. My name is Corey and this is me building a sort of shack thing. I'd call it a witch's cabin basically. What it is going to be is basically what I said, a witch's cabin. Right now I'm just trying to find some sort of half wall. I have got the basic layout, which is, as you can see, an L shape. There is the basement. This cabin is sort of based on, I think she's called Anisa's cabin in Skyrim. If you have played Skyrim, you probably know it. It is located just across the river when you first start the game, and you escape Helgen. It's when you get to the 3 standing stones, and it's just located straight across the river. And when you go to her cabin, she's all sweet, but when you go into her basement and come back up, and she's mad that you found out her secret and she tries to kill you. I ran away from her last time because I thought, let's just see what she does. Then I came back and she continued to try to kill me, so I just left her. Right now, just excuse me. Just adding the roof, which I actually go for. I am not adding the roof. I thought I was about to change the roof pattern, but I'm actually doing the walls. Here's the sort of cabiny look that I change it to. I actually don't change the colour of the stone, just the wood, to give it a bit more of a darker feel rather than that very vibrant orangey brown colour. Here we go, going the upstairs walls and the roof. Here's where I change the roof pattern. I actually go for wooden shingles, but when I first click onto it I think it's a bit too dark, but I do go back to it, like there. Have a little look around and I go back to the shingles. There we go. I thought I was going to go into gardening, but no. Here we are going into doors. I forgot the word for what they were actually called then. I end up choosing this Victorian door, which I think is store content, and I go for base game windows. I use these because I think they're very sort of cabinet and sort of cottagey, just to hide away. Like, it seems like it's just a gentle old lady's house with all these flowers and stuff. No one will ever know that it's actually a witch. Oh, I suppose a guy could live here. I mean, how I actually make it, yeah, there's loads of flowers everywhere, but I don't exactly make it very girly. So yeah, this could be a guy's house too. Here, just editing everything to match the doors and windows, because I like stuff to match, but not everything matches, don't worry. Just the stairs, the doors, windows, and the half walls. That's it. And just filling out the living room area, the basement, and I think I do. Nope, I do not do the kitchen next. I do the basement door. Lock this door if you are having just a witch here, because obviously you don't want people to come in and discover that you're a witch. So lock it to just your witch and no one will ever come in. Here is the kitchen floor. Just a nice simple one. Out here I couldn't decide what pathway I wanted to do up to the house, so excuse me. I do end up going for that one that I did last, the river stones, or river rocks. I didn't quite see what it said there. I think this is where I do the landscape. I'm not a landscape architect, so I do try the best I can, and to me it actually turned out fairly well, to say that I'm not much at it. And I don't know if you heard that, but that was my phone going off. I just shut that up. Here we go. For the living room I couldn't quite decide. I really wanted that in the house somewhere, but I didn't end up using it. I used this one instead, but I changed it around And in the living room, it looks really bland when I first put it in, but I do change it and add a pattern to it, just to give it a bit more of a look. Now, it is very dark when I put the pattern on and when I put the wood effect on it and everything, but I think once all the furniture's in and everything, it actually really balances it out to make it a bit more equal, I'd say, in the light and dark sort of spectrum. Now, this pattern, it took me a while to find, but obviously this has been sped up, so you can actually get it all straight away. The bathroom is actually just a very beigey colour. I actually don't do much of the bathroom, since my main focus is really, I think the most time I spend is in the living room and the basement. I wanted to spend most time in the basement, but I actually don't. I think this is a landscaping actually. Here I add a huge like mossy tree, that one. Yeah, and I think at the other side I add a large oak tree. I think it might be an oak or a willow. No, it's not, it's the oak. Yeah, the large oak tree. This house is actually built in a lunar island, which was created by the Sim Supply. If you've not subscribed to that channel, I suggest you really do, because he is actually brilliant. I love rocks in landscaping. I really do. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, this is built in his lunar island, and I recommend that you, when you use this house, that you probably want to use it in Midnight Hollow or the supernatural town, which is called Moonlight Falls, I do believe. And go adding in some more rocks just for that more natural look. And I think they're called ferns, little fern plants. So I think the fern coming out of the rock looks really natural, because obviously if you have rocks in the wild, they always seem to be covered in plants or have something growing out of them. I do take them plants away, because later I add in a bench. The words today are just like coming, just not even coming to me. None of the words are coming to me. I can't focus. Anyway, on we go. I do like the landscaping I do. It may seem a little much, but I want it to really like make the house sort of I don't know how to describe it, it's sort of a mystical sort of thing. I mean, a cabin with all these flowers, it makes it seem very, it seems very Disney, to be honest, now I'm looking at it. But yeah, it's very hidden by the plants and makes it seem very welcoming, when actually, for all anyone knows, you could have an evil witch living here. And now that I really think about it, the alchemy station could be used by anyone. I actually don't put any specifications in for just a witch. I mean, yes, I do actually add a spell book and a cauldron, but I think they can also be used by any sim. Here we go, add in the room. I did put the chairs in first, because sometimes I find it hard to match a sofa to a chair. I mean, match a chair to a sofa, and then, so I went for the chair first and matched the sofa instead, because I find that easier. Because when you put in a sofa, sometimes you don't have the matching chairs, or the chair doesn't quite suit it, so I went for that. In here, I think most of it is, in fact, store content, either store content or from Supernatural, most of it. I do go for dark colours in here, like I said, but I do add some light, like the sofas have white on them, the tables have white, and I add a big white rug just to sort of balance it out. I think it worked very well. Here's the white rug. Personally, I would never get an animal skin rug, but I think it worked really well for this type of house because of how it is. I added in another chair just because I thought that space looked a bit too open. I know it is actually getting really cramped in here, but It looks good now. Now that it's more cramped, I think it feels a little bit more homey. I don't know, I like sort of spacious but cramped at the same time. Here I'm adding a vintage phone, I think it's called, and that is also store content, I think. And I think I'm moving on to lighting, not curtains, and I go for the supernatural lighting, which is basically just loads of candles everywhere. Here's the wall ones. And I think I'll be moving... Oh no, the bookshelf. I wanted the supernatural bookshelf, but it didn't quite fit to the space that was there. So I do actually go for a store content one. Look, I didn't like how small it was. So I go for this really wide store content one, which I really liked. And now I'm moving on to the kitchen. Most of the kitchen is store content. If not all of it, most of it is. I used I think they're called fairy tale counters, and the fairy tale oven, and a gothic fridge. I do actually change the colour of them to give them a bit more of a brighter look, just to give the kitchen a bit more light to it. I think the only thing I don't change is the fridge, because I think the fridge works as itself. I think that is actually the only full wall length fridge I have seen. Every other one has a bit of space, which you can actually fit the cupboard from Into the Future just above it, but that one obviously you can't. That is the counter that I go for. Obviously it's not too light, but it's a little bit lighter thanks to the counters. The oven I do move because I don't like how it intersects with the window, and I didn't want to change the windows. But this oven isn't the prettiest oven. I just thought it matched the style of the house, and I think that's it for it. I did go to change the fridge and I thought, no, it looks fine. Here I go, moving the oven, and I think next I'm moving on to the sink. I think that sink would have worked really well, but I actually changed it because I like that one. I think it's from Outdoor Living. I know it's more modern than the rest of the kitchen, but I think it really works. I was going to put some appliances in, but I ended up not doing that, and I just added some plants in a minute after I've messed around with a couple of clocks. I felt like a clock somewhere, but it didn't work for me, so I didn't end up putting one in. Oh, I think I'll add in them plants later. So here, I couldn't decide what I wanted here. I was going to put a stereo, and I think I end up putting a small television there, just so your Sims have something to do when they're not casting magic or making potions or anything like that. And here we go, adding in the plants. I think that plant works straight away there, but here I couldn't quite decide what plant I wanted. I think I do end up going back to the daffodils. And then on the wall, I wanted these birds. It's like a bird wall art to just go on somewhere, but behind the cooker it didn't really work like that there. So I ended up putting this like different leveled picture. So I tried the birds on the other wall and I still didn't quite like it. So I ended up going for this menu, which I'm not sure what set I got that with, but it is store content. Like I said, I don't think I've actually said this, but if you do download this house, most of the things in this house are store content, either store content or custom content. And if you don't have it, it will be replaced by something that you do have. So don't worry if you don't have everything that I have, because it'll be replaced. I think you can download this onto any game and it'll just be replaced, even if you only have the normal one. Yeah, I will be obviously uploading this to the Exchange, Sims 3 Exchange, and I'll put a link in the comments. Here I'm just putting in some roller blinds. I was going to put one behind the stairs, but it intercepted the stairs and I didn't like that. I think now I'm about to do the basement, or I may just be doing lighting. No, I'm doing the basement. I end up putting a stage in the corner because I thought the spellbook would look nice on a stage. I had no idea what I was doing there, but moving on. And I'm not sure where I think I go for the spellbook straight away. Yeah, here it is, the spellbook. I've never actually used the spellbook, so I don't know what it does. But I thought since I'm building a witchy cabin sort of thing, I can just put it in there. In that corner, I had to put a corner wall in because I didn't like how it just went into a straight corner for the alchemy set. Here I didn't know what bookshelf to use, and I ended up making a little extra bit of the basement so I can put the bookshelves sort of look like they're stuck in the wall. Right, here I'm doing that now. I put 2 double bookshelves in. I was first going to use the big white ones that I first got, them ones, but they kept glitching out and going all weird. And I do end up using these ones that are the same as a secret entrance, so if you wanted to add the bookshelf doorway into there, you could, to go into an extra bit of basement that you build. There I had a black wall, so it didn't seem like there was anything behind it. If you've noticed, the walls have like that kind of triquetra at the top of them, which if anyone's ever watched the series Charmed, it's sort of a witchy sort of symbol. In the series Charmed, it represents the power of 3, the 3 witches, and that's why I like it so much in a witchy sort of thing. I changed the candles to a dark green to match the sort of green stone that's on the triquetras. If I'm even saying that right, I'm pretty sure it's a triquetra. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. I use candles in here instead of torches because I think the candles are a bit more like witchy rather than a torch. The torches work better in the tombs in World Adventures, like the mummy tombs and everything. I think they could also work pretty well in like a vampire's sort of lair. I mean, this could also be turned into a vampire's house quite easily. All you have to do is really just add in you could add an extra room and add in I forgot what it's called, the kind of stone slab that they sleep on, because it's not, I don't know if it's called a coffin in the game, but I know that vampires sleep in coffins. But oh well, the thing that the vampires sleep on. Here I added some tools above the gem cutting station because I thought that looked quite interesting. Like, it looks like the Sims could be doing it themselves, even though it's all just the machine. I couldn't quite decide what sort of extras to put around. I think I go for some sort of little plant. Yeah, these plants, I put them near the alchemy stations because I think they look sort of like little herbs and everything that you could throw into the alchemy. Obviously, they are not able to use. I keep saying obviously a lot. Just adding in a little tree. I think that's the only potted plant I use in the entire house that's actually like on the floor. All the others are like tiny little ones, like on a counter, or them ones there, like I used as herbs. And here I am adding in some little spell books that I think they just kind of complete the area. I wanted to put the potions on the potion shelf, but it wouldn't work. I end up putting a pedestal in to try and balance the potions on, but that wouldn't do it either, and I'm not too sure why the potions don't want to go on anything. I think they only go on counters, but yeah, I guess that's just the game. Some things work, some things don't. In that space, I think I put a cauldron. Here's me trying to add some some stuff to the kitchen, like that's a bread bin, and I look at some sort of non-usable like appliances, but I end up not putting anything in. I think, yeah, this is where I put a rug in, but I do go back to that layered rug that's from Supernatural yet again. But for some reason I try to make some sort of pattern out of these two rugs, but it doesn't really work. And then I cycle through some, and I do go back to the tiered rug and add two of them at some point. I just had a big mess around with loads of rugs, and I just couldn't decide. And I think this is when I go back. Yeah, there we go. I've got them, and I put one there and one at the other side. I know it's a bit of a mess, but I think it looks a bit better, a bit more colourful in the basement. And here I am going for the bedroom. I do keep that bed, even though I have a little look over some others. And I really like the bedspread on it, because I think it matches the room already. In the bedroom, I think I use almost all store content, except from the mirror and the curtains. Here I was trying to look for the dresser that matched the bed. I do end up finding it, and it's that one there, yeah. And I think it's a fairy tale one, I'm not too sure. Like the same set that came with the kitchen, I'm not 100% sure. It might be. Here we are I'm trying to put a mirror in, and I thought this corner one, well, this sort of stand-up one would look nice in the corner, but I didn't like how it looked, and I ended up going for the one from Pets. And I tried to do a 3 mirror one on this, but it wouldn't work like the others. I end up just leaving it as one. The bedroom is not too detailed. I mean, I could have put a plant in somewhere, but I couldn't quite think about where. I was going to put some art on the wall here, but it just didn't look right to me, so I didn't. Here we are, me putting in some lamps. Oh, I tell a lie, the lamps are from Seasons, I do believe. Yep, I put in some lamps from Seasons and a ceiling light from Seasons. I put one in there, and the bathroom. And I really like how this entire house actually turned out. So it's just a small build. It actually took me 2 hours to do this, which is quite amazing to see how small the house is and that it isn't even that detailed. I guess I just lose track of time when I start building. I'm about to put the base game curtains in anytime now, and I actually matched the curtains for the bedspread. I actually need to download some more curtains that match for like a single window and a double window and a triple window. Yeah, they're the curtains that I use. I match it to the bedspread, and I do change the wood to a black and the metal on the bed to a silvery colour, and I match all the furniture to that, so it's sort of a dark furniture, light walls sort of thing. I did think about changing it to white at one point, but I wasn't sure that had worked since the walls are already white, and I sort of liked how the black and silver looked anyway. There are curtains changing and the mirror. I did keep the lamps as white though, as they sort of went with it anyway. Everything is now how it should be. No, I add in a rug. I forgot about that, and the rug I'm pretty sure is store content too, and I could have gone for a bigger rug like I first intended, but I end up going for this rug, and I'm not sure why. I just think this fits the room so much better than what the larger rugs would have done. You may disagree, but for me it works. Just adding in another half wall so your Sims don't accidentally fall over down the stairs, which can't actually happen, but I suppose the game can only go so far with the realisticness of it, if that's even a word. I'm about to add in a sink from late night. I actually do a little trick with some shelves which I saw on the Empty Attics YouTube channel. She does Sims videos too, but yeah, I saw that on there and I really liked how it looks, so I've started recently doing that in most of my houses as well. Obviously you can try it out with other sinks, but for me, I think how it is with that one, it just works better. Just changing them a little bit darker so the glitch disappears in the middle. I don't actually add any like necessities in here, like the hand wash or the toilet roll or the towels. I just add a couple of things because I didn't really focus on the bathroom at all. I just wanted the bathroom to be done so I could focus on other areas. I think I'm getting close to the end of the video now, but I'm just doing the back garden, adding some more witchy stuff in, like the beehives which you need for your alchemy, for honey, and I think you get honeycombs out of here. I can't quite remember. I think I had a jelly bean bush in there. I added that plant because I thought it looked like a potted, like harvestable plant, but obviously you can't use it. I wanted a vine going up the side of the wall as well, but it wouldn't match anywhere, so I do end up getting rid of that, and I put the jelly bean plant there with a cactus. The back garden is probably one of my favourite parts on the house. To say it's not too detailed, it's probably one of my favourites. Just, it seems so relaxing, even though there could be bees flying around everywhere and I'm actually allergic. But in the world of Sims, you do not get stung unless you mess with the bee box. That sounded like I said beatbox. I don't know if I said this earlier, but yeah, there's the bench that I may not said I was putting in. I do put 2 more in the back garden with a fire pit, which you cannot actually use with them benches, so obviously bring a chair. Or put your own in. I think I do, some more landscaping just to fill out the back of the garden with more rocks, cause I love rocks in a garden. That just sounds so weird, but yes, I love the rocks in the garden. It's natural. It's how it should be. I do move that rock because it's sort of stuck inside the wheelbarrow, which is just weird because that wouldn't happen. Daffodils and pink and orange flowers, which I do not know the name of. I need to start learning the name of Sims items, then I can actually say them as I'm doing this. Here comes the birdie lamp with a bit of ivy on it, which I should have actually added some ivy to the floor there with the little plant things, just to make it look a bit more natural. I've dimmed the lights on it to make it seem a bit more hidden, and I think that is it. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, is that it? Yeah, thanks for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe. See you later, guys.